Good morning, party people. Hey, it's your host, Matt Morgan, and you are listening to Musings. How's everybody doing today? Today, we're going to continue on with aliens and UFOs, part deux, part two. Basically, that's where we're at. Yesterday was kind of rushed because I just finished watching a few hours of the Congress or whatever that was going on, the whole meeting about all this stuff like that. So, and it was a heat wave and it was crazy and I had places to be. So, I do apologize if yesterday's part one was, a little rushed and a little noisy, but it is what it is, my friends. Hey, you're not paying for this shit. So, hey, you're going to take what you get, right? Anyways, love you for it. Again, I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and please check out themadmorgan.com for all your information, details about us, and more gets added when I have the opportunity. You think it would be like 100% perfect because I have time, but I'm still looking for that magical employment. But hey, you can do something about that and help us with the bills. By all means, donate. Many different methods, forums, and everything else. And you can find that on themadmorgan.com. So before we get into it, how is your integrity today? How is everybody doing? What's going on? Is everybody doing the right thing? Living rights? It's the only way we're going to change the world. Domino effect, folks. Lead by example. So let's get into this. Today, we're talking about aliens and UFOs. Let's continue on with this. Yeah, I had some harsh words yesterday and some sharp words, and I'm not going to take it back because it's exactly how I feel. I believe that, if we do actually have an alien introduction or force or whatever, which I strongly believe it's been here for a while, for decades, if not centuries, observing, like we're their little science experiments. Yeah, in all honesty, I'm waiting for them to just pop their heads up and say, hey, this is what's going to be happening moving forward. And yes, I do stand behind the fact that they should sort through us and do something about different classes. Now, we're not talking classes as in financial levels and everything else. All right, we're talking about intelligence levels, we're talking about moral levels, we're talking about separating, the trash from the class. That's basically what we're talking about. We're talking about the good-minded, civilized, honest people with integrity and intelligence and some level of civility. They are the ones that are actually being kept. The other ones are being dismissed and used as fertilizer. I mean, yeah, hate me for it. Don't agree with me. I don't fucking care. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't fucking care. Musings. Welcome to the episode. Um, Not everybody's going to agree with my viewpoints, and I have a tendency to be a little bit harsh, but I strictly believe that we have over 8 billion people. 8 billion is the number that's accounted for, but I'm pretty sure we're bigger than that. And the world ran smoother with smaller populations. And so, the more you introduce, I believe I've actually put these numbers out there when it comes to the 1 in the 100 scenario, where out of every 100 people, there's one psycho. Now, let me tell you, that's actually based on science, scientifically. That was actually from a professional in the field of mental health, which basically told me about that. That was his figures. He basically said that's pretty much what it works out to. 1 out of 100. I'm like, oh, okay. So think about the math on that one. Out of a billion people, how many psycho friggin' not right in the head people does that leave us? Just saying. It's astronomical numbers. And I mean, maybe it's just the German in me. I don't know. Don't take that to heart. That was supposed to be a joke. I honestly think that you're not going to get a perfect Xerox every single time. So that's got to be kept into consideration because it just takes one bad apple to ruin the bunch. How many of the apples have to suffer apples have to suffer before you actually get it right, right? Why should the other apples have to suffer? Because of one bad apple? One apple that's actually going to be ruining it for everybody else? That doesn't make sense. Eliminate that bad apple. Eliminate that bad apple. Why should that bad apple have the rights? Oh, because every apple matters. Okay, awesome. So 99 have to suffer? That doesn't make sense to me. I fail to see your logic in this. It's like eliminates the infection, you know, and let the others actually do something to be better, to live to the full potential that they can. You see what the logic is in this one? I mean, it's very simple. It's a very simple equation. And people aren't realizing that. Oh, well, that's just harsh. Matt Morgan, how could you think like that? Well, sorry, but that's the way I feel. I think the only way we're going to evolve as a society is if those intelligence that can actually help project us and evolve us moving forward are the ones that actually don't have to feel scared or threatened or anything else, so they can fully recognize their brilliance and help us as a species to actually evolve to the next level. But if they're running scared because they're worried about a psycho stabbing them or hurting them or abusing them or anything like that, they're going to be stunted. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be stunted because they're going to be in constant fear. There's going to be that fear factor that is taking away from their work to evolve us. You see what I'm saying? You're like, really think about this for 1 second. The sense is there. It makes 100% sense if you actually think about it. But you just have to think about it for 1 second to realize, okay? I know some people lack the brain capacity to be able to figure it out, but you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Eliminate those negatives that are basically going to cause issue, and let the ones that are actually going to advance society and advance the species move forward. All right, very simple. Very simple. More resources to those that are actually productive. Simple as that. So, this is where I'm thinking aliens and UFOs. Now, let's just call our, cousins from next door. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. The thing is that they've been here for a while, and I mean, there are those of us that give credence to it. We always have. We've enjoyed the X-Files. We've enjoyed a lot of different series, possibilities, realities, perspectives, all the stuff that basically makes sense to us, because the thing is that we can't just be in this huge universe by ourselves. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense whatsoever. So, lo and behold, we have some friendly neighbors. And these friendly neighbors are basically coming to call and say, hello, we're here. And I think it's just a matter of the fact is that they're being recognized now. The government bodies that are keeping all the secrets, that are basically pulling back the curtain and saying, hey, yeah, we're acknowledging the fact that this actually exists. Well, duh. Do you not realize that for such a long period of time, we already knew this? We knew stuff existed. We knew that they were here. You might just think we're a bunch of people with tinfoil hats and don't really figure it out. We figured it out a while ago. There's movies made by it, TV shows made by it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is made by it. Do you think people just pulled this out of their ass and said, hey, let's make up little green men? There's some validity to it. We knew it. We recognized it. Government wanted to deny it. Okay, deny it all you want. Doesn't make a difference. When there's enough people out there that have basically brought it to light and spoke about it, you kind of have to clue in and realize maybe there's some validity to it. So I really don't need a government body to say, oh yeah, it exists, for me to actually know it exists. You know, you got to think about that for 1 second. As much as you'd like to be in that authoritative position that basically decides, it doesn't always work that way. So, as much as you'd like to have a big head thinking that, oh yeah, we know all this stuff like that, yeah, whatever. Fair enough. So the U.S. government, under the guidance of Mr. Carrot Head, figured he'd bring the light to that. Well, okay, I will give Mr. Trump a little bit of credit in the sense that he is really shaking up the beehive. He really is shaking up the beehive, and that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. You know, this is just another one of his things, which I think, frankly, he's doing this to distract people from other stuff. But regardless, I figured it was something that we should talk about. And I think the reason I want to talk about it is this, because I want it to be out, to be on record, and I want it to be known that, yeah, I'm hoping, as I said in part one, is I'm hoping it's like a Vulcan type. Do some research on Vulcans, if you don't know. I'm hoping it's a Vulcan type race, which is logical. Probably a little Klingon in that they could be brutal as well. But bottom line is that I'd like it to be an intelligent race that basically steps up, cleans house, and moves us forward. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be great. I think that's what humankind needs at this point. I think we're at that point that we've fucked up enough stuff on our own, not getting it right. And yeah, I think something else has to step in. Because, shit, we're not doing it on our own. We can't seem to get the shit right. We can't figure it out. We're fucking up left, right, and center. We're still fucking up now. There's silent evasions going on into every society, from the Middle East. And, they're ready to fuck people over with their fucking religion. And people are just blind to it, not realizing it. But it's a silent invasion that's been going on for a while. And they're fanatics. Those fuckers are fanatics. Not all of them, because let's be honest. On the faith level, it's a nice faith. I'm not saying it's a bad faith. But like every faith of positivity, Christianity, you name it, it all has a positive element. And then you have the fucking crazy fanatics on the other end of it, which you don't really need. Those are the ones that you got to be careful about, because they just see it through a different lens, right? They see it through a different lens, and that lens is a fucking nutsoid friggin' lens. Not very productive, not very beneficial to anybody. So, that's what you got to be careful about with those people. But any extremist in any sort of sense is not good. There has to be moderation and some sort of democracy in regards with that, right? So that's what it comes down to. Anyways, translated as it is to my alien neighbors and friends, hey, come hit me up for a coffee. Let's sit down and talk. I have some few ideas of what we can do. We could shake stuff up for the better. And I'm not just talking about, a huge purge. I'm talking about, something more productive than just that. Ideas for moving forward, for, improving this world. That includes everything from getting rid of fossil fuels, polluting the atmosphere, basically a whole breakdown on crime, stricter punishments for people that, want to act like barbarians. Let's see, I can go on. Education for everybody, make sure that everybody's educated in this planet, so there's no ignorance. Because if there's ignorance, then there's stupidity, and people do fucking stupid stuff. Abolish the currency system. Abolish that. Get rid of financial structures. Get rid of, you know, classes. Put everybody on the same page. The work you do is what you get. That's a great model I like. If you put a lot of work out there, shit, you get top shelf. It's simple. And if you can't work, then yeah, that is kept into consideration. You will have the basic, the needed necessities, not to say basic, because I don't want to make it sound like you're on welfare, but the needed necessities of life, you will have and still live comfortably. Because we would have a society where um, it wouldn't be based on anything like greed or grass is greener and all that crap. It wouldn't be all that stuff like that. Everybody would be equally across the board. You know, I mean, there will be responsibilities for everybody who's going to be a citizen in this particular reality. But the thing is, it's not asking much for what you're getting. Like, all you got to do is behave well and have integrity and pull your weight. Simple. Pull your weight, have integrity. And there you go. Then you provided everything that you need. What's the problem here? Like, it doesn't. As I said, anyway, some ideas. I'm not going to get into it too much. I'm going to wrap this up. I want to touch bases on that. Let's see how it goes, because unless I push up my episodes, this will probably be airing in September, if not October, with how backlogged I am with actually episodes. But I might push it up because, as I said, I do have a lot backlogged, and I might redistribute episodes, um, you know, 2-3 times a week, 4 times possibly. Let me see what I got to work with. We'll figure it out. Either way, I thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap that up for today. I'm curious to see how this goes with this Congress and everything else. And I'm curious if they're going to make themselves known, like, outright. So we'll see how well that goes. Anyways, I'm your host, Mad Morgan. Thanks for listening to Car Musings today. Please check out themadmorgan.com. Appreciate you. Love you for being here. Thanks for listening. I will see you on our next episode. Until then, keep your integrity in check. All right. Ciao for now.